Hey guys, I hope you're all having a good Saturday night so far. Mine's going pretty well, and oh my god, my mind is racing right now. Philadelphia Fusion, the ultimate underdogs of the playoffs, the number 6 seed, beat New York Excelsior, and they didn't even need to do it in 3 matches. They did it in 2, and now they're on to the grand finals in New York City. Wow, this was very unexpected. I was not expecting this at all to happen. I thought for sure the Excel were going to come back and end up winning this series. I expected them to win it 2-0 at the beginning, but the Fusion sure as hell proved me wrong. Congratulations to Philly. They deserve this. They have been playing so well lately. I am super proud of them. This was a very, very good match that we watched today. It was super back and forth, and it went all the way to that decisive 5th map. And it was just a very, very good night of Overwatch. After the London Spitfire and Valiant series disappointed us, at least we got a really good match between the Fusion and the Excelsior. But it did not go the way as I expected it to, like I just mentioned before. So this match started off on Junkertown, and this was a game that I'm sure a lot of people thought the Fusion would lose because they have a very poor record on the map, and they lost to Boston Uprising both times on that map previously, so you kind of figured if they lost to the Uprising on it, and this is one of the better maps that the Excelsior play on, the Excel were going to win it, right? Well, no. The Fusion showed that they are not the same team as they once were. They're playing at a whole new level, and I really think that getting that 3-0 victory over the Excel gave them a huge confidence booster that they so desperately needed against a team that has reverse swept them multiple times. It really kept their morale up, and it made them that confident team that they needed to be. But even though the Fusion played very well, and I give them a lot of credit, the Excelsior definitely made some more mistakes, just like they did on their match on Wednesday against the Fusion. There were some very notable mistakes. Like, for one, the casters mentioned this multiple times on Junkertown. They refused to switch off of comps even when they knew they should have, like when the Fusion started to run dive with the Genji and Carpe on Tracer, but they refused to get off of the low mobility heroes like Roadhog and Orisa. Obviously, we know that those types of comps do not work against the high mobility dive comps. So as soon as they saw this, they probably should have switched off, but they decided not to. And then when they were on attack, when they were in a time of desperation, they did not have someone like Mono switch on to the Winston or anything to try and get back to the cart. He was still on the Orisa, I'm pretty sure. And that's what just, that was one of the big problems that I saw from the series. They were refusing to switch off of comps even when they clearly needed to make a change. The one bright spot for the Excel on Junkertown was definitely Pine. He was hitting a lot of those big-time shots that he usually hits, and he was going on those big-time flanks, and again, just hitting those super crazy headshots that he needed to help put the team in a good position to win, but it just wasn't enough. And then when we head on over to Lijiang Tower, I was actually expecting the Fusion to win this map because the Excel actually aren't too good at Lijiang. This is one of their worst maps in the entire map pool, but they come out and win this. It was very impressive, and I was actually really surprised to see Pine in on Lijiang Tower. I know that it's a pretty good Widow map and everything, but you'd expect Sabe Yobi to be in there because he can run the Widowmaker, but also he can run the Tracer because, after all, this is a really good Tracer map. And, of course, you're going to keep Libero in for the Pharah and all of that. And this time around, we saw Carpe pop off, but for some reason, it just wasn't enough. He was going off on Tracer and Widow, but for some reason, his team just couldn't figure things out. This was a very epic map, though, very back and forth, super entertaining. Then, after the half, we move on over to Kings Row, and this is New York Excel territory since they have a pretty good record on it, but again, the Fusion proved everybody wrong and just absolutely manhandled the Excel. This map was the definition of not close. Like, it was insane. It was an absolute slaughter. The Excel got dominated when they were on defense. The Fusion finished with over 4 minutes in their time bank, which is like world record type of stuff, like just absolute domination. And then the Excel couldn't get anything going on their attack, and it ended up being an easy clap for the Philly Fusion on Kings Row. Now at this point, when we move on to map 5, which would be Dorado, I really started to think, who's going to win this match? I was literally in this situation where I was 50-50 on both teams. I'm like, the Fusion seemed like they might be able to close this out because they've been playing quite well other than Hanamura. But at the same time, I was like, New York Excelsior is a very clutch team. I don't expect them to just go down without a fight. So I was super pumped up for this last map, and it did not disappoint at all, as it did go down to the wire. When the Nyxl dominated on their attack and got their point A and B in just lightning fast time, I was like, okay, this is it. The Nyxl are probably going to win this series now, and then they're going to move on to the grand finals. I was honestly thinking that if the Fusion did not win that one match on Dorado, then that was it. They're going to probably get dominated in the second match they played a little bit later, and that would be it. But they came out in the clutch. Carpe played incredibly well. Such a clutch player. He's really proving himself to be one of the best DPS in the world right now. It's absolutely incredible to watch him. Him versus Pine in the Widow duel is probably one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. Very back and forth. They were both hitting nutty shots on each other. But also, Carpe was playing very well on the Tracer, as you'd expect him to. EQO definitely did not disappoint either. He's playing great on the Pharah, the Genji, the Brigitte, whatever he needed. The team just shined today. They proved that they deserve to be in the grand finals, even as underdogs. They remind me so much of the Philadelphia Eagles over this past NFL season, where everyone was doubting them, and they continued to win and win, even with a backup quarterback in Nick Foles. The Philly Fusion kind of have that type of thing going on with them right now, where they keep proving all of the doubters wrong, and I love it. I love me a good underdog. Unfortunately for the Fusion, their greatest challenge has yet to hit them, because the Spitfire have looked like the best team in the playoffs, not the New York Excelsior. Sure, the New York Excelsior were considered the best team coming in because they have the best record. They always made it to every single stage finals. You'd expect these guys to be the best team, but the way the Spitfire have been playing in the playoffs, it's clear that they're the #1 team right now. If there's any team that can beat them, though, it's the Fusion, just because they've beaten them in the past. But then again, the past seems to mean nothing in the playoffs, as the Spitfire dominated the Gladiator. So who knows what's going to happen. I just really hope we get a really amazing back and forth match that goes super close down to the wire. And before I talk just a little bit more about the Fusion, I wanted to give one last shout out to the New York Excelsior, because their season is over. It's kind of a shocker, because they were definitely the best team in the league. They're the most dominant team in Season 1 by far, as they rarely ever lost. They had a 9-1 stage 3 times. They made it to every single stage finals and won 2 in a row. Like, they were the kings of Overwatch for a long time. It feels bad to not see them there, especially because they're just such a fun team to watch. But what are you going to do? The Philadelphia Fusion outclassed them. They deserve to be there. But seriously, thank you, New York Excel, for giving us so many entertaining moments with guys like Pine, Sabiobi, and Jonek. It was really awesome. But seriously, though, good job, Philadelphia Fusion. I really think they're in the right meta right now. Definitely the same could be said for the London Spitfire. I think that's exactly why both these teams won. The meta just worked out so well for them. They both have their Zenyatta players that can play Roadhog and stuff. They got this triple tank / double sniper meta down to a science that none of the other teams seem to be able to figure out. The Fusion should feel very proud, and they should feel like they got the revenge they've been looking for so long, as they got reverse swept by the Excel 2 times, like I mentioned before. Once was in the Stage 2 finals, so I bet it feels so good to have finally gotten past that team, and now just one more challenge is in their way. And it's a team they've beaten multiple times before, so I'm sure the Fusion are going to have so much confidence coming into this match. I'm super pumped. I hope you guys are too. I'm making my prediction video sometime this week. I hope you guys are ready. I'm pumped. Let's go. And that is just about going to do it here, guys. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss the next Overwatch League discussion video. Also, I'd very much appreciate it if you could give this video a like, because that tells me that you guys enjoy these types of videos. And until the next one, I'll catch all of you beautiful people later. See ya.